Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and also check out my other videos. I post a lot of advice videos on here for equestrians. I'm really excited to be filming again this week. I am trying to stay consistent. I'm trying to get back onto a schedule with this channel and also with my vlog channel. I kind of took a break and I'm back now. I'm trying to plan out some more content for you guys on here, and if you have any recommendations or any requests that you would like to see me give advice on, definitely make sure to comment down below and let me know what type of videos you want to see, or if you have any questions that you want me to answer. In today's video, I'm just going to be giving you guys a couple more tips if you are purchasing a horse for the first time. I've done a couple videos on this topic before, and I think the reason why I've done so many of them is because there's just so much to know going into it, and if you've never purchased or owned a horse before, it honestly can be very overwhelming if you don't know where to start. So I just want to give you guys as much information as possible, but I also don't want to overwhelm you too much. So I'm just going to give you guys my top 3 tips in this video that I haven't shared in my other videos. It'll be some new information if you have seen those other videos, but if you haven't seen them, I will also link those down below. I will link the first video I did up here. I don't know which side it's going to be on, so I'm just going to point to both sides of my camera, but I will post that up there if you guys want to go watch that. And I think there's like 2 other videos as well, kind of surrounding the same topic. So I feel like I've been talking way too much, so let's just get into the video. All right, so my first tip is going to be a financial tip, and this is something I think is very important to establish before you start even looking for a horse, and that is to make sure that you have a range, a price range of what you are willing to pay for a horse. So when you are thinking of, you know, what's my budget, what can I afford, try and have an actual range of numbers, because most of the time when you're looking for a horse, prices are going to vary depending on the horse's training, their personality, you know, their temperament. Like, there's a lot that plays into the price of a horse. The tricky thing about the prices of certain horses is sometimes the seller will maybe charge more than the horse is actually worth, and that could just be your opinion. Maybe the owner thinks the horse is worth more but you don't. Sometimes it'll be listed a little bit higher, but I feel like most of the time, if a seller really cares about their horse and they just want to find their horse the right home, they're usually pretty willing to negotiate with you, and that's something I'll talk about in a minute. But you just want to make sure that you have like a set range of what you are willing to pay for your horse. Make it something that's realistic. Don't be like, well, I think I could stretch it to this price. Like, you definitely want to stay within a comfortable range for yourself. You don't want to go too crazy, and if you have the extra money to spend on the horse, then, you know, go for it. But if you are like more on a budget and you just know yourself and you know you probably shouldn't spend over a certain amount, definitely don't let yourself do that. Like, try and keep it within that price range. It can be really hard, especially if you find a horse you really like and they are just like way out of your price range and you can't afford it, and you know, you might be doing the math in your head like, well, maybe if I like give up this or I stop doing that, I can afford it. But you don't want to stress yourself out like that, especially because it's already going to be very expensive once you own the horse. I think it's just important to kind of know your numbers before going into the actual search for your horse. Like I said, the owner may be willing to negotiate. Like, if you do find a horse you really like and it's a little bit outside of your price range, if they are willing to come down on that price, that's great. And again, most of the times I feel like people really just want their horse to go to a great home, and if they feel like you're the right fit for that horse, then maybe they will lower the price for you. You also don't want to like negotiate too low, you know what I mean? It just might be kind of like, this horse is worth a lot more than that and you're offering me something very low, and in that case they'll probably tell you no. But I would say don't be afraid to negotiate if you feel like the price is too high, and just negotiate what you think is fair and see what the owner says. There may be sellers that are like set on the price, especially if it's a horse that has like, you know, crazy training and like is like a show horse, I feel like most of the time they're not really willing to negotiate. If it's like a show horse and it's like a $20,000 horse, they may be like, well, this is what we think the horse is worth with all of the training it has and everything, so this is what you have to pay. But if you're looking for a show horse, you're probably gonna have a bigger budget anyway, so this is more aimed to people that are just trying to find a horse for themselves that isn't like crazy expensive. My second tip has to do with location. This is going to be very crucial to what you're willing to do in terms of traveling to get your horse, and that is to create some sort of travel plan for how far you're willing to drive or, you know, travel to try out the horse or pick up the horse. Basically, just figure out what your range is in terms of location. So, you know, are you looking at horses in your area? If so, what's your range in miles? Like, are you willing to travel, you know, 3 to 4 hours away? Are you willing to travel out of state? Like, what's going on? You know, you got to figure out what you're looking for, and sometimes there may not be a lot of horses around you that are really calling your name and that are like the right fit for you. Sometimes the horse may be out of state or, you know, hours away from you. Are you willing to travel that distance to go see the horse and to try out the horse? I think it's really important to kind of like narrow down, okay, this is kind of like my location range, this is as far as I want to travel, and you know, if I do find a horse that seems to be a good match, then, you know, maybe I'll stretch it a little bit for that horse. But if that is the case, maybe try and get more information from the owner, as much information as possible before you decide to go up there and travel like a long distance. I'm thinking like convenience wise, it's just better to have this stuff planned before you start looking. And I know it's probably like the last thing you want to do, because when you're looking for a horse, it's exciting and you just kind of like want to get the process going, and you don't really want to sit down and be like, okay, realistically, what do I want to spend? How far do I want to travel? But I think it's good to do, especially if you're trying to just, you know, consider all of the things that come into looking for a horse. I just think that's really helpful. So take it or leave it. You don't have to do it, but it might save you some stress, because if you find a horse you really like and you're like, this horse is perfect, and then you see it's like across the country from you, it's like, great, I just got my hopes up for nothing. Unless you're willing to travel across the country, I don't know. But anyway, just nice to know what your range is beforehand. And the last tip I'm going to share in this video is very, very, very important, so listen up. If you find a horse that you like and you want to purchase that horse, make sure to ask for any medical history papers before you purchase the horse. Sometimes people won't actually have the horse's papers. Like when I got my thoroughbred, he didn't have papers. The owner was like, yeah, I don't have them. You want to make sure that you know the horse is healthy. If they do not have papers, make sure you get like a vet exam done and you have your vet come out and check that horse, because there is nothing worse than purchasing a horse and, you know, the owner tells you, oh yeah, this horse is perfectly healthy, perfectly fine, like, you know, doesn't have any vices, and then you get home and you realize this horse is like got so many problems and, you know, its health is like not great. People lie, and I think it's just important to be safe. Even if the person seems really nice and they seem like, yeah, like, you know, I promise you this horse is healthy, take it into your own hands. Don't just take their word for it. And I know, like, this is unfortunately very common in the equestrian world. People will lie to you to get their horse sold because they just want the money. It's better to just be safe, you know, than be sorry and have to go through the hassle of selling that horse or rehoming it, whatever the case is. You want to be, you know, looking out for yourself, okay? Because people can be really shady and you just don't want to deal with that. So ask for their medical papers for the horse, and if the owner doesn't have them, definitely make sure you get, you know, a vet check done. Even if the owner does have the papers for the horse, I would still get a vet check done just to like be 100% sure that the horse is healthy and sound and all of that fun stuff. Finding a horse can be so fun, and it's honestly, it can be really stressful too, but I can't wait until I can, you know, start looking for a horse again, and that probably won't be for like another couple of years, but who knows. I don't want to say no. Never say never, because life is crazy and you never know what could happen. So I'm keeping an open mind, but I just want to help you guys while I wait because I don't know. There's so much information, like I said, when it comes to buying a horse, and I just want to help you guys as much as I can. If this was helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to. And also, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you have any like video recommendations, make sure to comment those down below, and I will read through those, because I want to be able to cater towards whatever you guys are needing advice on, and sometimes I don't know if like a certain topic is gonna like be helpful to anybody. So if there's something that you're like really needing advice on, then definitely let me know and I will try and cover that. I hope that your search for your new horse is going well and that, you know, you're able to find your dream horse. I'm gonna go now because my foot is starting to cramp and I just need to go stretch. So I will talk to you guys next week in my next video.